Hey, this is Growing My Grandpa. I saw that Markiplier had played this, and this is another game by Yames, the person who made Discover My Body and the one in the ocean. You're the thing, and it's a scuba. Would you like to view the tutorial reading the game? Yes, please. Please read. This game is designed to be played with a mouse. The input required of you is based around clicking the mouse buttons. The right mouse button will change the cursor's image and function. Only when pointing, indicated by the extended index finger, can you, the player, interact with certain menu buttons and prompts. Please click below in the pointing mode to continue. What do you mean, in the pointing mode? Oh, okay, I get it. Alright. The second cursor mode is indicated by the cursor's image featuring a hand extending all fingers. This mode concerns interacting with objects and inside the world, mainly picking up an object and moving it into another position. To continue, please pick up a piece of trash and put it on the right and the trash can on the left. Oh shit, I didn't read the fucking rest of it. Whatever. There will be many situations in Growing My Grandpa that will require you to pick things up, place things, grab things, or give things. Don't be afraid to experiment and keep an open mind about using your hand. Please click the button below to continue. Remember, pointer mode. Okay, can I click the garbage? Can I take the garbage? Nope. See, this would be a perfect place for an Easter egg. No, okay. In order to expedite the cleaning process, you can use digits 1, 2, 3 in your keeper's number row at the top of your keyboard to reposition the trash can below. Try moving the can to the right of the screen, 3 on your keyboard in order to continue. Okay, in order to expedite the cleaning process. What the fuck did I do? What? Oh, it's the same. Well done. Please click the continue button. Okay. A variety of video options can be changed. Yeah, I already know that. Disable shader effects. I knew that. Factor 2. Okay, alright. Options overlay. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Covering. Help. Okay. This ends the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed Growing My Grandpa. Infinite thanks to patrons and supporters for leaving me and my work. You have an amazing talent, James. Week 1! What the fuck does this mean? What are we doing? Why is it only the first week? Where are we at? Paper. I excused Adrian during music class today and spoke with her about recent string of Dimitri. It was the first time meeting outside of quarterly evaluations, and I believe it went well. I can certainly understand Miss Richardson's classroom observations concerning Adrian's emotional state. She was, of course, intensely shy when we first met. As I understand it, she is similarly withdrawn in her classroom activities and only speaks or acts when she absolutely must. Some things she simply will not do. Instead of participating in mandatory group activities, she will sit alone and accept that she will receive a demerit. Before the meeting, I read Miss Richardson's parent-teacher report, which allowed me to estimate some about Adrian's home life. The parents are well educated and come from a prestigious background, but they lack the properly nurture Adrian. They lack time to properly nurture Adrian. She is often alone when she is not. The parents seem to not understand the importance of warmth and affirmation when dealing with someone so young. Having two parents of this reserved and icy temperament exacts an inhibition in the child. The child's imagination is subdued, but only ostensibly, for eventually it finds a way into regular life. I surmised that it would be able to reach out to Adrian by way of make-believe. Oh, I fucking hate that! Ah, fuck this! How are you liking your new house? You've told me that you used to live close by, but still is a big adjustment. A new room, a new school. The basement. I like that. The basement? Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. Mom and Dad sent me down there. Your mom and dad made you go? Yeah, but there's a lot of cool stuff. Well, it's not why they sent me down there, though. Why did they send you down there? Fighting. They were fighting, shouting. I came to help, but they shouted at me. They said go clean upstairs, or downstairs, so I went. That sounds tough. Do they fight a lot? No. Well, it's alright, Adrian. Maybe you could tell me more about the basement instead? Okay! Well, it was sort of weird at first. The stuff down there, but cool. I found something living, sort of. That's very interesting, Adrian. Please tell me more. By indulging in her fantasies and stories, I was able to glean more of an understanding of Adrian's anxiety surrounding her home and parents. The symbols of Adrian's story seem to carry their own traumatic weight, and their exploration of the basement may very well be a vehicle for the conveyance of her anxiety. Whatever might come of our next meeting, whether she will engage in similar make-believe, I will set down her story here. Okay. Adrian's story begins with her delving into the basement with a trash receptacle and goal of cleaning up. She discovered one of the walls was covered in plastic bags, so she went to investigate, intent of tearing away whatever they covered. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, this is so cool. Oh, that's... strange. Upon removing the plastic bags from the wall, she noticed their interior lining was covered in glass. Like a window, I offered. No, she said, like a mirror. Reflecting inward towards the animal they covered. I gently asked her what exactly this animal was. Here's where the material reality of the story took a turn for the explicitity, fantastic, and imaginary. Oh, upon her discovery of it, at her gaze of it, it grew or extended. Its shaggy, haired self. Hair like the fur of a dog, I offered. No, she said. Not the fur of a dog, nor the hair on her head. It grew out towards her, the animal's hair reaching out. It was hard, standing almost straight, like the hair on a brush, a bristle, I offered. Yes, she said. She was very afraid at first, but then very curious. I asked her what else was in the room. More things hidden away, she said. Things of Grandpa's as well. She found a hidden passage under the stairs. Inside were strange dolls, magic objects, naked, faceless figures. I heard these cryptic utterances and merely nodded. In order to keep the game of make-believe going, I only pressed for details where I thought was necessary. The faceless dolls could be simple metaphor for the anonymity she feels on her own home, the hidden passage. I am unsure of what to make of that. The revealing of the concealed seems to be thematic in her fantasy. The doors of the stairs is but one example. By the way, if you guys are new here, I can't read where the fuck. Okay, I don't know if I'm able to touch this. So I think I'm gonna just go around. What? I can't pick anything up. The darkness of the shadowy corner unnerves you. You cannot explore here without some form of light. Okay. None of this, nothing else unnerves you? What is that noise? Okay, I'm gonna go to the trash pile. No, I guess I'm not gonna clean that up. Alright, better clean that. Once she removed the panel and found the magical hidden passage, she was very specific about what she took. She found a magic book, a magic doll, a photo of her late grandpa, and magic glue. Take doll. Slouching doll. Its material is rough and coarse. Okay. Garbage. Many garbages. Trash. Oh, hello. Hello. Garbages. Oh, hello. Let's get all the garbage cleaned up first. Okay. All clean. This space will not be dirty again until next week. Until next week. Why an all-purpose glue? Eurasian steppe schemism and the fusiform gyrus in an interdisciplinary study in sympathetic magic. A dissertation. Jacob Hart. Papers crudely bound together to form a book. I'll read it. The impetus of this research was the recognition of a particular pattern in fragments of documents relating to magic and magical religious practices. Numerous sources were drawn from commentaries on laws relating to the banning of sorcery and necromancy, compilations of folk charms relating to love spells, hagiographs of saints and their encounters with devils. The list spans many centuries and a great distance from the Levant to the Tsar to the border of the modern nation states of Russia and Kazakhstan today. From this paper trail arose a consistent account about a certain form of magic relating to the binding of demons to a sorcerer's will. A demon called Heaven of Needles, or the Angel of Needles, was known to be kept best by keepers of words who suffer from face blindness, whether by birth or through developmental causes like a stroke or head injury. It was known to be extremely effective, but terribly dangerous, so much so that it became outlawed several times and was genuinely a popular scapegoat relating to unexpected death. This nexus of magical religious meaning-making sorcery regarding human-related desires in the history and science of neurological disorders related from the fusiform gyrus, which is where the subject of this dissertation will reside. I will outline further, then analyze the historical sources I mentioned previously, and I will go into the neurology of mystic and magical religious experiences. After that, I will detail my ongoing correspondence with a resident of the Ural Mountain region who is an expert folklorist and keeper of traditions he claims have been passed down through his extended family for generations. So everything's magic and fake, basically, is what you're saying, right? I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. Mr. PhD! On the reverse side of the photograph, there's more text. Good luck on your trip to the Urals. Stay warm. Okay. I interrupted to ask what she did with these magical, mysterious materials. Grow, Grandpa, she explained painfully, and then without missing a beat, she continued on with her story. Huh? Feeling this was a potent symbol, I stopped her again to ask what she meant. Somewhat puzzled, I did not understand immediately. She explained slowly. Grandpa lives in the cage in the other room, the cage behind the door. They grew people in the cage. Huh? What? A hastily written note. I want to read that. No, hey, stop that. Can I not read that? Shoot. Yeah, I don't like that at all. I fucking actually really hate that. Darkness. Okay, yeah, I get that. Where else can we go? This? Oh, can't do much here. Trash pile. Can't pick anything up. Can I pick anything up here? No. I don't like that noise. What about here again? Door. Note on experiment 2/4. The sample's exposure to some of neuronal activity is unavoidable. Unavoidable. However, the speed at which the destrious yield is produced can be dampened by several precautions regarding libidinal emotional urges. Keep conversation not related to lab work at a minimum. If you begin to suspect that you're developing attachments to your colleagues, contact me as soon as possible. Okay, let's go! Beyond the door, in the room, the cage was hidden, concealed in another cloak of inward-facing mirrors. Oh, I hate that. I hate that. A hidden cage aligned with mirrors. It is strange, almost poetic. The elaborate fantasy of self-reflection, concealment, captivity. Okay. Yeah, let's take the tarp off. Yep, cleaning up, cleaning up. At the cage, she finally cast her spell. But it was confusing, she confided at first. She took the magic doll, the magic glue, and the photo of her grandpa, and she combined them, and she wished very hard. I can only assume that in this fantasy that next her wish would come true. In what child's story would it not? Ooh. Ooh. Oh. A tangible symbol of intention and desire. She put Grandpa in the cage, assuming that it was part of the ritual. She was not clear on how it worked. What precise instructions she could glean from her grandfather's magic book was complicated by her reading comprehension. She wished with all of her heart and then told me she waited a while for anything to happen, and after that time she began to cry. I cried really hard, she said. I wanted my grandpa to be back. I wanted my parents to stop being so mean. And it hurt me. It hurt me wish for grandpa to come back and for my parents to be different. I could feel it though, through the walls, and it felt me through the air. I asked for her exactly what she meant. She could only repeat what she said. By this time, it was almost over. I said goodbye to Adrian, and she left to rejoin her class. I was left to consider our conversation. I believed the storytelling strategy, but I must have employed it was not unfruitful. But I must probe deeper if I can. Although I can be sure of nothing, I interpret the impressions I get may begin to help me get the idea of the right questions to ask. Knowledge you acquired this week has been given you access to certain topics or keywords you can discuss with Grandpa. What? Wish. Consider discussing when Grandpa emerges. What are we doing? You have gained the following keyword. Shall. Consider discussing when Grandpa emerges. What the fuck does that mean? Okay, here we go, going back into this now. But hold on a second, we have to say wish, and we have to say shall. I met again with Adrian in order to address her emotional outbursts in the past few weeks. This is the second time meeting, and while it's standard practice to have multiple sessions with a troubled student, as I assembled a report for counseling department, I could not help but think, as we sat down in my office, that Adrian already seemed to show a remarkable change in self-esteem and confidence, and perhaps my and Miss Richardson's estimation of her emotionally disturbed was erroneous. The paralyzing shyness and withdrawn attitude Adrian possessed last week was not entirely diminished, but she seemed to hold herself differently this week. However, this only lasted as long as our conversation pertained to the initial introductory pleasantries, where I began to ask once again about her parents, her feelings regarding her new school and her new home. She quickly lost what new confidence she had gathered up and withdrew again into herself. So once again, I partook in some collaborative make-believe, but this time it was aided by the fact that I had managed to do some research into Adrian's grandfather, and I had some insight to what might actually be finding in the basement. Now, this may be overstepping my bounds as a school counseling caseworker, but this was all in service of making Adrian comfortable and happy in this new learning environment. In any case, I was able to dig up information regarding her grandfather by inquiring at the university in this town. But not that I make a habit of sleuthing, but I had a suspicion that the grandfather was a professor there, or at least some sort of researcher, due to the fact that the newly constructed laboratory on the campus I drive by every day bears his name in memorial. He was some sort of anthropologist or linguist or neuroscientist. I did not have to dig that deep before the scope of his work became dizzying and I ran up against the limits of my undergraduate education. But back to the make-believe. I hate her. What is your grandpa like? Is he a smart man? Not anymore, but I'm teaching him. I don't like that there's no eyes. So he's grown to a good deal then? You have been feeding him well? Yeah. He's getting bigger, but he has a lot of room in his cage. Is he still behind the bars? Yeah, well, he might actually be able to climb out eventually. There's this vent in the ceiling. Well, perhaps if he climbs out, I can meet him someday. Yeah, maybe. But he's not ready to leave. He can't take care of himself. I have to feed him, pick up after him. Ah, you store that food in your lunchbox? That's so nice of you to share. He can almost talk. You cannot speak with him? He doesn't have a mouth, sort of. But how do you feed him? He has a mouth on the outside, on his shell, or the stuff that is his skin. I'm a little confused. Maybe you can go through a typical day with your grandpa? Okay. I asked her to explain how exactly she goes on about growing her grandpa, and Adrian began another tale. According to Adrian, in the week that had passed, much had changed in the basement. I hate this. Okay, yeah, I get this. Yeah, why are you... Okay. Glue. Why are we gluing here? Why are we gluing here again? Okay. Examine. Everything that was here before is gone. Was that my grandpa? I have to seek out food for grandpa? Go see grandpa first. Okay. Wake up, grandpa. It was scary at first, she said. The way he moved, the way the doll skin covered him. I wanted to interject, but somehow seemed inappropriate. But I kept listening. When I look at him, she continued, when I think about him, he grows and moves. It's like he's growing for me. So he's getting bigger now? I asked. Yes, she said. Bigger every day. James always makes these awfully weird, conceptual, weird... Oh, I hate that. This begins the actual growing part of your grandpa. Beneath the doll's burlap skin, the follicles knit together what resembles a proper person, your grandpa. You're in charge of his cognitive development and diet until it's able to sustain itself. Currently, you are observing grandpa. Please click the arrow back button below for a brief tutorial of your duties as caretaker. Okay. Oh my god, what the Okay, here we see a variety of options regarding growing your grandpa. Highlighted red are the objectives related to feeding and teaching grandpa. Important messages regarding to grandpa's recent activity will also appear here. Oh no. You'll need to find food and learning material before you can move on to the next week. Some foods will make grandpa happy, others merely content. Some food will make grandpa disgusted to the point of nausea. Learning material is also scattered throughout the basement. Seek out vocabulary cards intended to teach English and basic anthropoetic concept information. Anthropoetic. The options highlighted in red are related to navigating around grandpa's enclosure. The Go to Grandpa option will let you perform all actions directly related to grandpa, feeding, teaching, observing, etc. Accessing the Study Corner will let you go over any documents you pick up as the weeks go by. It is a good idea to learn about the work and people who last occupied this space. Accessing the Kitchen Corner will let you search for food in the old refrigerator and prepare food for grandpa if need be. The Help button will replay this tutorial. The Save Game button will save your current progress. You can only have one save file at a time. Okay. The Exit Game button will take you back to the main menu. Okay. More buttons may or may not appear depending on your development of grandpa, so watch out for them. One final note. Take care to explore the basement at your leisure. However, due to entropic nature of clutter and trash, different weeks may allow you to find things you had not previously discovered. Good luck. That everything was not before it was gone. Okay. Slouching under the weight of a rotten refuse. You had me up to about this point. I don't know what we're doing anymore. Oh boy, there's a lot of garbage in here, isn't there? I'll clean. The space will not be dirty again until next week. Okay. Blueberries. This looks edible. Grandpa might like this. God, I hope not. I don't like this. I hate this. I don't like this. Trash pile. Examine. Something about that painting looks very strange. Ooh! Ooh, look at that. Oh, sorry. A folder of old radiographic images. You can examine this detail later at Study Corner. Okay. Can I go to the Study Corner now? Search trash. Ooh, garbage. Lots of garbage. Oh, hello. What are you? A simple paper doll. This may be useful in the construction of magic symbols. God, I hope not. So this is a big game. This game big. This would be a multi-part game. Oh, that's not what I was expecting. I don't like that. I don't like this. Examine. The oyster smells particularly strong. Well, that's because there's a magic rotting doll here. Bulbous growth. Something appears to be growing from the wall. You take a closer look. A pulsing sac. The slimy membrane that its skin seems to contain something. It might be able to be opened with a blade. Why? Oh, why? Oh, that's so disturbing. I hate that. Oh, I hate that. What's in here? Hello. Corroded battery. This isn't really food. Grandpa might eat it, however. God, I hope he does. Linguistics module. Hello. Module administrator will record details in an opposite side. Teach Grandpa this word in the notes of past education. So, vocabulary card. Good enough for me. I don't want to teach him anything. I don't like this. Trash pile. Oh, I already went there. Paper doll, but I don't have the thingy yet. So what was the button to go to the place? What was the button? I don't know. This. Oh. Okay, there. Okay. Go to Grandpa, I want to go to study corner. Okay, look over documents. Magic book. There, I want this. Radiographs. You said I could look at it more in detail. You ass. Okay. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Grandpa. Grandpa. Attempt to communicate. No response. Teach Grandpa. Hello. Would you like to view a tutorial before you start? You'll not be prompted again. Yes, please. Example. This brief tutorial will go over teaching Grandpa pronunciation and vocalization. The vocabulary word you picked will appear at the top left corner. In the bottom right corner, will be a pentagon that is divided up into 8 sections. A section of the pentagon will be highlighted briefly. A notification sound will play, and soon another section will be highlighted. You will control a small round icon that sits above the pentagon by using your mouse. The ball is constrained into the limits of the pentagon. The goal is to keep over a highlighted area and move it. Okay. When you hold left click above the correct highlighted area, the icon will start to vibrate along with the simulated vocal cords, and the current letter of the word you begin to turn red. Keep holding over the highlighted section and adjust your icon as it changes place. Soon, your letter will become fully red. After every letter becomes red, Grandpa will proudly pronounce the word to you, and it will be considered learned. Teaching Grandpa these words will accelerate his cognitive development and lead to further breakthroughs in general intelligence. Okay, you approach the small window. Oh! 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 Deep within Grandpa's strange membranes phonate confidently. Having completed the lesson, you take a look back at the vocabulary module card and the notes they're written by administrators of the past. Hello, part of vocabulary and vocalization module A2, conversational basics. General pronunciation comments, sloppy articulation, module comments, see below. We're already encountering some difficulty as whiskered subjectively. It is so much determined by a diverse and dynamic array of influences. It attempts to mimic the thoughts and desires it passively intercepts, and those imitations on the structure of the basics of its identity. Only in later Whisker's growth cycle does it begin to form an identity that are coherent and capable of resembling a sane, rational human being when being engaged in conversation. One must imagine how hard it would be to converse with someone who is not yet orientated in one particular way towards who or how they are, because they might have 20 different honest answers to those questions, with them all mixed and muddled together. Because of this, we have started with the basics of conversation, greetings, partings, identifying one another, forming questions, etc., etc. It is fortunate Whisker's current growth, 19, I believe, has developed a mostly accurate human mouth simulation. Hello was a bit of a challenge in the previous growth, and has failed to develop an adequate organ to act like a human tongue. You step away from the bars and store the module card at the document table. Okay. Are you hungry? Yeah, sure. This brief tutorial will go over the basics of feeding Grandpa via induction of your protected insula. Grandpa has simulated the production of tooth enamel to mimic the human mouth. You will need to be fed through this in order to properly learn and grow. First, you will need to select an item from the lunchbox. Click lunchbox in the bottom right corner. Contents of the lunchbox will be displayed. Select an item from the lunchbox. Doing so will fill your hand with this item. Note that any food can be put back in the lunchbox by clicking on the lunchbox with a full hand. Before Grandpa can be fed, it must judge the food by smell. Hover your hand above Grandpa's olfactory bulbs. No. If Grandpa is pleased, it will allow you to feed it. Most foods Grandpa will accept, however, getting Grandpa to consume other things requires some culinary deception. When Grandpa is willing to be fed, hover your hand over its mouth and click. I just want to feed him the battery. Grandpa will then consume the food. Good luck on feeding Grandpa. Thanks. Okay. You approach the small window. Left of its mouth. Grandpa find this. The meal appears to have been sufficient. How about this one? How about this one? Grandpa grimaces at the artificial smell. No? So you're not gonna do this? Alright, see you later. You step away from the window set in the bars. Grandpa grunts in appreciation and locomotes towards its favorite corner. Yeah, woo! Woo, I love this. I love this so much. Woo, I hate this. I genuinely hate this. Okay, alright, hold on. What is this? What is this? Ritual behavior. Wait. Why is it? Okay, 1 of 4. I think I accidentally read that before. Here, I'll have to read these. Study corner, documents, 1. Can I reorganize these? For the sake of university policy and the health of any future career you hope to have, you will abide by the non-disclosure contract you have signed. Do not break the anthropedic vacuum without any prior consultation and approval. Any anthropoetic, I need to learn how to pronounce that word, forms brought into the enclosure area must not be left unattended. When in dormancy of the sample will not attempt to take anthropoid shells. Please see shell notes for more on that. I don't know what that means, man. Did I read number 2 already? I believe I read number 2. I'm gonna read number 3 now. Ritual behavior with a sample trading, bargaining will result in dismissal from the project. The precise mechanism of exchange of symbols and gifts required for a requested desirous yield is not known. An event and then anecdotal the counts and successor and illegible and violent death. Yep, that's me, illegible and illiterate. Regarding growth cycles, every time Whiskers regenerates and leaves dormancy, it is to be logged as a new propagation. The sample's bodily existence cannot be illegible, i.e. part cannot be cut from the whole, so there can only be one living propagation. Propagations are to be terminated after 5 weeks. Any further development puts us at risk. Termination procedures will be posted and followed with extreme care. With all of that out of the way, I want you to welcome the project. I look forward to working with you, Dr. Hart. Dr. Hart seems like a psychopath. And by that, I mean I am done for now, so thank you everybody so much for watching. If you guys thought this was weird or cool and want me to continue this, then I will. But Markiplier has a video on it down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.